Hi, I'm Kate Boswell, and we're going to talk about creative inquiry in this video. Creative inquiry is a transdisciplinary method developed by Alfonso Monturi to address the needs of doing research in unusual times. Transdisciplinary work with complex systems is recognized as an essentially creative practice of inquiry that integrates the inquirer into the research. It encourages making unexpected connections, challenges assumptions, and adapts theories and methods from one discipline for use in another. In recent years, transdisciplinary sustainability science has joined the relational turn in the humanities and social sciences that sees human and nature as interlinked processes rather than separate entities. Relational values are inscribed in certain indigenous and local knowledge systems in which knowledge, practices, and beliefs have accumulated and evolved over generations.
Hi, my name is Roger Sainer. So why use creative inquiry? Well, it's really useful in contexts where we want to make connections between things that are not normally seen as connected, in areas where there's a high degree of unknowns, and we would like to have some flexibility in our approach of exploration. Monturi says, it is an invitation to learn, to embrace the complexity, difference, pluralism, uncertainty, and to approach life itself with an attitude of inquiry rather than to conform to pre-existing frameworks or recede into self-absorption. Creative inquiry invites us to explore who we are in community, where our beliefs originate, how we engage the process of knowing and of inquiry, and how we may collaboratively envision and create better futures for ourselves and those who are to come after us.
So how can we use creative inquiry? Creative inquiry is an embodied way to explore relational dynamics between people, other species, and materials to find out more about a social ecological system.
Drawing inspiration from the 4E model of cognition, we begin with the body, then move beyond the body, then establish a dialogue between the body and systems. The image on the left is from a workshop on embodied leadership, where people are engaging in participatory sense-making in real time, responding to each other's embodied intentions.
In my research with urban multi-species, I used creative inquiry with a post-qualitative approach in which the researcher is ethically bound to the work, a new materialist theory that is concerned with our relationships to matter.
What can we expect when using creative inquiry? It's focused on process rather than specific outcomes. Being part of the research process requires a researcher to be open to what turns up as we go along. There's a real sense of self-inquiry being part of the research as well. And also this idea of attunement, of paying close attention to one's context, oneself, and what is emerging as the inquiry continues. And this is why the transformation of the researcher ourselves is one of the surprising emergent outcomes, and that can't always be planned for. That comes out of an increasing sense of lived complexity, of being involved in webs of life and of relatedness and connectedness.
What I like about creative inquiry is that it is accessible. I began with curiosity that cultivated embodied ways of paying attention. So in conclusion, there is a need for creative transdisciplinary approaches to address the challenges of sustainable transformation. Creative inquiry complements relational approaches and embodied research methods. However, it does not follow a set formula. It is non-linear. It involves deep learning and iterative processes, and this may take longer.
Because creative inquiry is about making connections between new things, it can be quite challenging to maintain focus on the core topic and not get sidetracked, even though that's where some of the magic is. It's also important to note that personal change is part of the process, and so having good support structures in place is really something important. If you're interested in finding out more, we've included some options here. Then go and make some new connections, paying greater attention to the network of relationships we belong to, and see what unfolds.